I was thinking about a conversation that I had with a friend of mine recently, my boy Mike Kitchen. Shout out to my boy Mike. We were having a conversation and we were just talking about the grace of God, right? Like how God has been so merciful in our lives because of, you know, all of the decisions that we made, all of the things that we've done, and even his current position, right? Or his current status right now. Like a month ago, he ended up having a heart attack. He was sharing with me the other day, flatlined twice, was brought back to life. By the grace of God, he was able to have open heart surgery. Obviously, he's talking and up now. He was out for a while. We've been conversating, got a chance to go and see him a few times. So he's up, talking, sharing, about, what he feels God has done in this particular situation to slow him down and show him some things. But not only that, but also, you know, by showing him grace, right? Because the lifestyle that he was living, the things that he might have been eating or doing or whatever have you, it could have took him out. But God showed him grace. But not only that, we started talking about the old lifestyles that we live, running in the streets. And I remember asking him about a particular night, and I want to share this testimony with you guys. Give me about 5 minutes. This happened probably about, man, you're probably talking 28 years ago now. Maybe a little less than that, but and when I asked him about it, he was like, "Of course I remember that night, right?" But basically, I grew up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and back then at the time, it was one of the worst cities in the United States. We had one of the worst projects in the United States in Father Painted Village, which is tore down now because of the way it was. That was one of the reasons that it was tore down, but I had got into a situation with some people and they had kind of did me wrong. And on this particular night, it was a few of us that said, you know what? Everybody had their different motives. Some was, I don't even want to get into it, but basically it was a situation where it was like, you know what? This is the night that I'm going to get my revenge. And when I look back to that night, and God brought all of this back to me when I got saved, how he was there this particular night. It was me, obviously my boy Mike was in the car, my cousin, and two other of my boys, right? And pretty much it was like, once we get where we going, we got guns in the car. It's like, once we get where we going, it's up from there. And I meant the way we was thinking and processing, like, definitely some people probably was going to possibly lose their lives and possibly, who knows, including us, because I'm sure these brothers had guns out there. I mean, this is what the environment was at the time. So anything could have been a possibility, right? So, we getting ready, we talking, we're heading back to where I lived at. And I remember just in my mind, just the evil thoughts of what, I felt I wanted to do to somebody and what I was going to do to somebody. And then I had one of my friends in the car, without saying his name, he was on the run at the time, right? For what he's doing time for now, which I think by the grace of God, he should be getting out soon. I think he's been in jail over 20 years. So he's processing this situation as, look, I ain't got nothing to lose anyway. Right? Like, so I might as well go all out anyway. I ain't never going to see the brick again when I go to jail, whatever have you. But look at the grace of God. It is looking like he is going to see it again. So many different things happening that night for all of us, right? That could have got worse. But anyway, everybody's processing. My cousin, my boy, Mike, we all in the car. And I never forget, man, we coming down a street called Noble Avenue. And all of a sudden I see this car just cut across the street, like cut across Noble Avenue. And it's like, all right, I'm driving down. And all of a sudden, right behind it, another car comes, a huge van, and we end up hitting the van. Boom. You know what I mean? We hit the van. The van ended up going across the street into a gate. We ended up being stopped in the middle of the street. Dudes jumping out, kind of panicking with guns in their hand, all types of crazy stuff. And, Mike, he ended up leaving. My other boy that was on the run, he ended up leaving and obviously took whatever they took, where they took it. And, me, my cousin, and one of my boys stayed. But when I got saved, which would be 14 years after that happened, like God brought me back to that moment. Like, listen, I saved your life, right? You know, I saved others' lives. Like, I that particular situation, could have ruined your life forever. And when I look at where I am now, being married 15 years, got a granddaughter, 24-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son, 12-year-old son, just, the respect of some of my peers, some of the people in the community, been in the same church 20 something years. Like, it shows me the grace of God, right? Because that one night, I was going to ruin my life forever. And so was the other brothers. They was going to ruin their lives forever, I'm pretty sure, because the way we were processing and thinking about going about everything, it just wasn't going to be good. I don't think it was going to be one of those situations where it was going to go down smooth and nothing come of it. People just get knocked down and that's just was going to be the end of it, because I remember that night I don't think any of us was thinking with our right mind, right? But look at how God showed us grace, showed us mercy. By the grace of God, all of us are still alive. You know, we all can say that if it was not for God, we wouldn't be alive, right? If it was not for the prayers of the people that had been praying for us while we were out there running, because many of us went through other things after that, years later. Some of us had been shot. Some of us did jail time for certain stuff, drugs, guns, whatever have you. I lost my mind for a couple of years smoking dust, you know what I mean? Like, so many things happened after that. And there's so many other stories that I could tell, that God brought to my remembrance and said, look, if it wasn't for my grace, right? If I did not hold you down in these particular situations, then no telling where you would be.